Mini episode 1629 of the FDH Lounge is brought to you by Sportsology, delivering unconventional columns and webcasts about sports, TV, music, movies, and more. Follow them on the web at sportsology.com.
The FDH Lounge. You want to schedule your life around it.
A long time ago, on a gloomy, wet Cleveland spring night, two men stand alone amidst the late-night drizzle. Their voices echo across the vacant station parking lot as they debate the merits of the great American radio show that have been missing for far too long. On that night, an idea was born. That idea became the FDH Lounge. Welcome to the FDH Lounge.
Hello and welcome to FDH Lounge mini episode 1629, our review of season 1 and 2 of the big summer hit The Bear on FX and Hulu. I'm FDH managing partner Rick Morris, and last summer we provided a spoiler-free review of season 1. Now that season 2 has been released, here are your updated top 5 spoiler-free notes of interest about the series to date. Number 5. The Bear is a completely unique and compelling story of a world-class chef who comes home to take over his family's restaurant, the original Beef of Chicagoland, in the aftermath of his older brother's suicide. Carmy Berzatto had been aced out of the kitchen by his older brother Mikey, a magnetic, charismatic, life-of-the-party character who battled a drug addiction that eventually led to his demise. Carmy had gone high-end, trying to impress his brother but never getting that validation, working in world-class kitchens and eventually managing the one that was graded the best in the world. He comes home to try to fix the restaurant known simply as Beef, importing another young culinary genius named Sidney to be his lieutenant. This development adds fuel to the fire, as Mikey's best friend and lieutenant, the rebellious and temperamental Richie, who works the front counter, resists the changes that Carmy and Sidney bring to Beef. Others in the kitchen, including the set-in-her-ways Tina, resist listening to these young hotshots as well. Carmy's relationship with his sister Natalie is complicated by the way that both of them are dealing with their grief about losing their brother, as well as Natalie's desire for Carmy to stop slumming in a restaurant that is far beneath his skills. Carmy's Uncle Jimmy, who is mob-connected, lets him know that Mikey borrowed $300,000 from him and that, while he is realistic, he expects Carmy to make efforts to pay it down. The rampant disorganization that Mikey had in place greatly complicates Carmy's efforts to save the restaurant, as well as the trauma that he carries from not only the tragic dynamic with his brother, but the abuse that he suffered en route to becoming a top chef. Season 1 proceeds through a day-by-day effort to rise above these circumstances and to get the restaurant and the people working in it to a better place. Season 2 portrays Carmy, Sidney, and the crew working to transform the Beef into something completely different, a world-class restaurant with all of the struggles and hassles that are a part of that. Season 2 also features the return of a significant woman from Carmy's past. Number 4. With all due respect to the critics describing the show as a dramedy, it is not. It's a drama. Granted, half-hour dramas are exceedingly rare, and there is a great amount of witty dialogue and the occasional comic relief character and situation, but nothing beyond what you'd find in any dramatic show. The format is among the elements that really help to set the show apart. Number 3. People who love shows centered around food will love The Bear, but so will fans of well-written character dramas, inventive cinematography, and programs just oozing with intensity all the time. The push and pull between the characters and how they develop different understandings with each other over time is incredibly well written, and the images that flash on the screen at various times that convey the intense thoughts consciously and subconsciously in Carmy's mind deliver an element that you just won't find on any other program. In Season 2, we see the minds of Sidney and other characters working in the same way as the show inches toward becoming a true ensemble. Number 2. The cast is as great as the writing, headlined by Jeremy Allen White of Shameless fame in the lead role of Carmy. The other best-known actors in the cast are Oliver Platt as Uncle Jimmy Cicero and Abby Elliott as Natalie. Other standout performances include Ayo Idibiri as Sidney and Iban Masbakrak as Richie. There is a family backstory episode in Season 2 portraying a fateful Christmas from 5 years ago that has some jaw-dropping guest appearances. Number 1, the layout of Season 1 is truly incredible, with the first 6 episodes setting the stage for a series of disruptive events in the penultimate show, and the season finale offering resolution with a series of progressively larger shocks. Hints about the Berzatto family backstory keep dropping throughout the season, and by the time it's all wrapped up, you feel like you've watched the origin story or maybe almost a prequel for the series that was originally envisioned. The flow into Season 2, when the work begins to replace the beef with the restaurant of Carmi and Sydney's dreams, is incredible, as the tension somehow builds even as the characters grow significantly, growth that is shown by examining more of their backstories and circumstances in depth. For the new restaurant that exists, The Bear, we have now seen the first season, with the dying days of the restaurant that it replaced, and the second season, which portrays every bit of the work necessary to build a spectacular replacement right up to the opening. Whenever Season 3 comes out, it will be amazing to see the new restaurant exist on its demanding new timetable of profitability, in which every second will truly count. If people ask you if this program is worth watching, you can truthfully answer, yes, chef. Thank you for joining us for this mini episode of the FDH Lounge.